30 minutes later, the valve-controlled exhaust has been fitted, and the car's value has increased by 7,000 euros. Time for a sound check. This is how the car sounds in normal mode. The new component shows what it can do at the mere touch of a button. The mechanic is satisfied.
Toys for the boys.
Throughout Europe, there are noise thresholds in effect for motor vehicles. Cars in this performance class may not exceed 75 decibels. This is as loud as a washing machine in a spin cycle. The tuners must comply with these rules too.
There are, of course, regulations. If someone wants a car that is 200 decibels, we simply have to say it's not an option. This is not permitted anywhere. We simply would not do this kind of work. Or if somebody wants a 3-kilogram gold logo on their airbag, this has safety implications. In a crash, this would fly into your face. Obviously, we wouldn't do it.
His favorite model is the Brabus 800 Widestar. For nearly 4 decades, the off-road vehicle has been continually fine-tuned in Bottrop. The 2.5-ton off-roader can now be upgraded to 900 horsepower. The Mercedes-AMG G63 forms the base. Top speed of 220 kilometers per hour with a power rating of 585 horsepower and 850 Newton-meters torque. After undergoing its mutation in the Ruhr, a high-powered car has 800 horsepower and 1,000 Newton-meters torque. The XL off-roader is then capable of breaking the 100 kilometer per hour mark in just 4.1 seconds. The transformation begins in Factory 1. In this configuration, the production vehicle already costs 150,000 euros. After the SUV leaves the works with a full conversion, it will be worth twice as much. A mechanic removes the standard exhaust system. It will be replaced with a chrome-plated sport exhaust. This does not make the SUV faster, but the look and sound are intended to be as attention-grabbing as possible for the owner. The SUV is done. Its transformation to the Brabus 800 is complete. Finally, the highly tuned vehicles are driven to the inspection. The quality inspector will spot every error. The newly fitted brake calipers receive particular attention. This is of vital importance, not only for the customer, but also for the inspector, because he's about to put the pedal to the metal for the first test drive.
Just checking here to see if the cabling, and in particular this brake caliper that we have painted, are tight, and that we're not losing any hydraulic fluid here. Because otherwise we'd have a problem not having any brakes in the test drive. Not something you want, of course, for a vehicle of this kind with so much power.
In the case of large-scale conversions, the quality inspector will manage no more than one final inspection in a day. The check is too extensive and detailed. His trained eye is now focused on the hull. The paint has to be unblemished and the clearance is uniform. He pays particular attention to the forged rims. In the case of a 5-figure sum for a set of new tires, there is zero tolerance.
I'm kind of like the eye of the customer. I'm looking as the customer would be looking.
Next, he gets to work on the interior. Every individual function in the vehicle is tested by him. Door locks, seatbelts, headrests, storage compartments. The expert feels his way, looking, touching, and listening. Constantly on the lookout for any minor defects or faults. All his senses are needed for the quality control.
Ja, und zwar auf die Lüftermotoren.
Yeah, in fact, you can hear or sense if the motors are working.
Man fühlt es dann auch, ja.
The quality inspector will need to look and touch the vehicle hundreds of times before he starts the test drive. After the final function tests, he drives the high-end vehicle onto the test track. This is located on the adjacent tuning premises. The helipad serves as the location for an initial endurance test. Where the super rich normally land is where the severe test begins for the tuned vehicle.
We are now at the roundabout, and here we are checking to see if the chassis drifts or bends somewhere.
From the roundabout, it's taken directly over to the cobblestone track. The car is well and truly shaken and bumped around. Now the suspension has to demonstrate what it's capable of, and the inspector listens to see if all the vehicle parts are tight and secure. Then the 800 horsepower vehicle speeds over the sinus wave track. The heavyweight must not drift here either. Slam on the brakes. A big turn and return to the home straight when kickdown is activated.
And then back.
The SUV flexes its muscles on the test track.
As you've noticed, the vehicle is tremendously powerful. If, as I said before, you really put your foot down, it can start to spin. You have to be careful when driving such a vehicle.
This car has been inspected and approved and is now ready for delivery. But before loading, it will be washed by hand. The cleaning technician has an array of car care products on hand to make the luxury model gleam after its test drive.
Here we have a calcium remover, windscreen cleaner, liquid polish, rim cleaner, insect remover, and car shampoo.
The Bottrop team washes the vehicle by hand. The experienced employee proceeds with great care. They can't afford any scratches to the paintwork this close to delivery.
I wash around 10 to 15 cars a day. It just depends on how busy it is.
1 millimeter at a time, he cleans the exterior and the interior using a sponge, high-pressure washer, and polishing cloth. He needs 1 hour for the extensive cleaning. Then the Brabus 800 can leave the workshop. The luxury car is, however, not driven to its owner. To make sure that
it's cold outside.
My new chick said her ex never rolled for her. I told her, shawty, I'm a ride. My new chick said her ex took money from her. I said, bitch, I'm fine.